Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digga.
We got Fact Checker Rage in the house. We got my physical reality in the house.
Hey.
And this is a special episode of Yanadameen Godcast.
Fourth segment.
Oh man. We got our special guest, Brother Sanchez, in the house. Clap it up for Brother Sanchez.
Appreciate that.
Now, I just want to say real quick, for certain 5%ers, this is heresy what I'm talking about right now. And all I could say is this is the show where I presented, my evidence and my findings. Show and prove, God. Show and prove. I know it's in the lessons, but proper education, a law correct error, and we can't just stick to something just because it's tradition. Okay? So now, that being said.
Hold on. With saying that,
Mm-hmm.
could that also apply to if tradition has been telling us from the beginning that the earth was flat, and then all of a sudden these new theories and these ideologies came along?
No.
Because you know what, though, for real?
Because nothing was disproved. That's the thing. There's, first of all, I implore y'all to go out and watch videos like Eric Dubay's 200 Proofs that we're not on a spinning ball. Go to Brother Sanchez channel, please.
Hundreds of videos.
Go check out all of Brother Sanchez's videos.
Subscribe to his channel.
There's also a video called Convex Earth where actual experiments were done with lasers over vast distances, showing and proving there is no curve.
This is absolutely a compelling argument. Like I would definitely still need to do more research. Like I've looked at videos you sent me. I've looked at other videos outside of that.
I feel like you didn't really watch them, because if you did, there's no way you would have still been.
I'm not gonna watch.
You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna watch a video and all of a sudden everything I've learned all my life is out the window. Like
I hear you.
I'm not gonna
No, but see, that's what
I wouldn't do that either.
It's not gonna happen in 2 discussions.
Okay.
It's not happening in 3 discussions.
Okay.
That's fine.
But it might happen on the 12th.
This is technically, I would say this is part 3 for me. I watched what you sent me. I watched other things. And now I'm speaking to someone who would be considered a master in this.
He's definitely quite versed and educated on the subject.
Okay.
And very respected in the, community.
Now I may want to go out on my own with my physics.
That's all it's about.
My own, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right, and that's what you're supposed to do. Do the research.
Exactly. I have no problem.
So listen, we got a couple of questions. Some of our interns are in here. I think DeKenya had a question. DeKenya?
Yes, my question was going back to the topic you brought up earlier about Antarctica.
Okay.
The area that is not allowed, you're not allowed to go there.
Right.
They blocked it off. So my question is really all these different parts of the puzzle, like the evidence that's showing there's more to be covered up, the next slide, next. So I'm just curious of why are we not allowed to go there?
Did you hear that question? If y'all couldn't hear the question, because she's not mic'd up, she asked earlier, we were talking off camera, or maybe some of it on camera, about Antarctica and how there's an Antarctic treaty amongst, so many countries, damn near all the countries. And that's the one treaty that they all agree with. And nobody can really go to Antarctica for some odd reason. And if you do go, you're limited to just certain portions of it. So, maybe you could share, Brother Sanchez, what you know about Antarctica and why they would, want to stop us from going there. Is the firmament wall there? What's going on?
Well, if we go to just a flatter, simple map like this, the reason they have a treaty in the Antarctic area is because if we were able to venture out of that area beyond this ice ring, a lot of ancients said that there were other continents there. And I'll show you something. A lot of people may not familiar with this. I'll show you a flat earth ring map.
Don't go beyond the wall.
Well, here's the thing. They did make a movie called The Wall. They got a lot of movies referencing to this. They also got a movie called Lords of the Rings. This is what that mean. They controlling these boundaries. See, the first couple of wars that was fought was over map makers. Okay, the people with the accurate maps can find the treasures. You will die over a map. Maps were the most valuable thing there was. You couldn't find the treasure without the map. So a lot of people started distorting maps, deleting lands off to throw some people off. A lot of the maps we got today are missing continents. You say, why would they want to do this? Well, there are resources, there are lands. You don't have to be here. This earth was said to have no known recorded ends to it. So venturing beyond that ice ring, it just keeps expanding. It's very easy to set up a barrier around this ring and keep us trapped in this little space here. Look at the movie Truman Show. You know what I'm saying? They getting these ideas from somewhere. So if you can see beyond us are other little rings, little planes of existence. I just showed you the Hebrew cosmos with all of the different heavens connecting to a different ground like you see here. Each one of them will have their own sun and moon going at different speeds. So the further you go out, the year take longer. Don't this sound familiar? Scientists said this is what it's like on other planets. The years is long. This makes sense on flat Earth, but not on what they saying. When you talk about the ancient secrets of the Earth, you study nature. Cut open an onion and you'll see this pattern. Cut open a pineapple, you'll see this pattern. All compasses point to the stalk in the center of the fruit. The ancestors had a different way of viewing Earth, and people never stopped viewing it that way. It just became a cult. Because if I show you the Masonic cosmology, it's flat Earth as well. So when you get a certain level of initiation, they teach you, hey, you ready to learn the truth? You ain't spinning, you know. Here's the true layout, you know. So yeah, that's my research showed me that I deal with a lot of people, initiated men who say, bro, be careful, you know, this is the stuff we learn when we get deep into the initiations and shit like that, because this is tapping into etheric energy. When you start studying this, see the crazy thing about this, you see why we have calendars. The word calendar is the word cylinder, and your calendar is tracking a cylinder. The sky behaves like a cylinder, or a calendar. Now they changed all this, and it took us when you deal with astrology, it's Greek names. Mercury, Venus, Pluto. Hey, your ancestors didn't deal with this. They had a different kind of cosmology. So how do we reconnect with the ancients and still, when you look at ancient cosmology, their spirituality was embedded in it. This is where we get as above, so below.
Brother Sanchez, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but no, I have something on my mind, and you know, a lot of people say this, and I want to address it. A lot of people say, well, the sun is round and the moon is round and all the planets is round. You know, why wouldn't we be round? And I tell them, well, first of all the planets are not necessarily round. That's just how they represent them. Second of all, you know, there's the analogy of the pool table and the pool balls. You know, just because all the pool balls are round doesn't make the pool table have to be round. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of assumptions going on. One thing doesn't have nothing to do with the other. It doesn't mean just because the sun and moon appears to be some sort of spherical, you know, we don't know if they're balls, but they look like some sort of spherical objects. That doesn't mean that we're the same thing. And I think that's the assumption, the Patricia principi that a lot of people deal with when they have that. Thank you for showing us pictures of what real planets look like. Let's go into it.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't see this. They only see those. For example, if you pull up Neptune, you're going to get cartoons, right? They never stop giving us paintings. Look at all these cartoons. None of these are real. None of them real. None of them consistent.
You go what Neptune looks like.
Yeah, you go and look up these stars. They don't have you got a telescope, this is what you'll see. You can't really say what shape it is because it's ever changing. It's a torus field. And this is what they're hiding, because studying the stars is unlocking the secrets of how to generate energy. And one thing that we got to point out with this as well is that when people say, well, the sun round, the moon round, why wouldn't the ground I'm walking on be round? It's crazy, because if you look at the flat earth conception, we're not saying that the earth ain't round. That's why I keep showing this model. You know, the earth is round. The earth is flat, but the cosmos is round. My bad. That's what I meant to say. So what we teach is what the ancestors called a cosmic egg, and life lives inside of an egg, not on the surface. This is why it's so hard to explain why we can be living on top of a spinning, ball. It don't make no sense. But if you look at this model, you would see where spinning is the sky, but the ground is perfectly still. You would, in this model, explains, see, I'm gonna show you something real quick. All of the ground that you see, the land, it goes and it connects to the great deep. And they said the earth is foundated, it's immovable. So if you look at all the lakes and inland bodies of water, they don't follow the low tide and high tide. The only water that follow low tide and high tide is what's connected to the ocean, because the ocean water is what was connected to the great deep. The ancestors said the center of the earth was a recycling system where all of matter break down and become recycled. So that's what what they're trying to hide, and the fact that resources are not limited. Nature recreates the elements every day. We're within infinity, basically. So if you look at what I'm saying here, all of the ocean water follow the pattern of the sky. But the lakes and all of that is staying still because it's mounted to this big old rock. See, all of the continents are part of one big rock. It ain't no different continents. It's just the water covering up the big rock. All of these continents is one big rock. And as you can see in this image, you see all of the water that ain't inside of that rock area don't follow the flow of this great deep, because what's making the ocean water go low tide and high tide, it's the breath coming out of this sky vault. Inhale and exhale, low tide, high tide. You do it too. So this is as above, so below. So the ancestors used these conceptions to show you how this relates to the human being as well. And the moment our cosmology became chaotic, the people became chaotic. If you look at what they show you about space, I'm gonna just show this real quick, because as long as I'm gonna pause for a minute, because I know I can be hogging the mic, Sorry about that.
No, it's all right. We got another question. Hang on.
So the globe is supposed to be sitting somewhere in space, right? That's
Well, it's moving through space, actually.
So what about the flat Earth diagram? Like, is it just sitting somewhere in space too? Right, well, what's surrounding that?
Did you hear that? The question was, on the globe, it's supposed to be floating through space and all that. So on a flat Earth, where is it? You see them saying what's surrounding it? He's saying.
What's surrounding the earth?
Yeah, what we're seeing. So what we've been looking at, we're looking at images of like almost like a dome structure.
Yeah, you're gonna see it.
And the stars, moon, sun, moon, and stars, and the planets are kind of hovering within this.
The planets are what move. The same way you'd get seasons, you'd get 24 hours a day. The same way you think the Earth is spinning. If what's above you is spinning, you'd still get the same results. But what's outside of it? See, I don't like to speculate. I don't want to get all into speculation. Some people say it's water. To be quite honest with you, they say that outer space is really water, and that these lights that we see as planets are actually luminescence that can be created with sound vibrations that happen in water.
Well,
But those can all that's speculatory as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not sure about that. I'm just giving you something. You see what I'm saying? A possibility of what it could be. But go ahead, Brother Sanchez.
Yeah. What's real, what I find is very factual, is electromagnetism. So we ask, what's outside of that dome? When you see the waters above the firmament, my research into ancient cosmology show me that it's not liquid waters. It behaves like liquid water, but it's a magnetic energy field. And I'll show you a Giphy file of what that looked like, actually. Hold on a second here. I'll pull it up right now. Here it is right here. Here's one in motion. It's a small one, but you can see it. So you can see where the sky meets the ground. We're in the middle of this hamburger. They call it the meat because this is where the meat takes place and everything becomes solidified. Basically, everything that explains nature can be explained studying this image in electromagnetism, but the globe hides this by putting you on the surface of this image instead of inside of it. Now, we live within this system, and we can see the sky above us behaving just like this image shows, and we can see the ocean water beneath us going around a central point, just like this image shows. And that's the North Pole, where all compasses point. All compasses point to that pole. Now, if you look at this image right here, and if you compare it to this Hebrew cosmos, now we're dealing with science. You see, because one of my favorite songs since all of us hip hop heads was Nas, Ether. Ether was one of my things, man. And it went into flat earth till I realized you don't have an ether on a globe. You only have an ether dealing with flat earth. You see what I'm saying? So they got rid of the ether with the global model. And, you know, we hear the words non-ether all the time in the Black conscious community. You don't have an ether with the globe. You know what I'm saying? So we denied the ether. And the ether is really the eater. And now I'm doing syncretism. Now I'm approaching this from a different standpoint for y'all. Why is it called an eater? All of the energy is eaten up in the top of this thing. So if you look at this image here, I'll show you another one. That vault in the sky eats up all the elements and recycles them. Some cultures call it the Ouroboros, and they call it the eater because it eats up and recycles itself. That's why it bites his tail. In other words, nature don't create new elements. She just cleanses everything every day and give it back to the earth. Got a built-in recycling system. We relying on man's recycling system of treating the water with chemicals and all of that because we forgot the natural system and we're no longer connected to that natural system since everyone believing in this global model. That model was what created the scarcity, the fear tactics of government. The number one program being the space program. And I know I'm being long-winded, but let me point this out. When you look at the ancient flat earth cosmology, for example, Nut and Gale, they look so at peace. Now, if they were to look at us today, this is what they would see. They would see doomsday movies and all of this. Now, none of us never been through any one of these cataclysms, but the thing that I'm trying to point out to you is the ancestors never wrote in any of their historical records of great cataclysms, which means everything the globe tell you about how life started, being with a comet crashing into Earth from the Big Bang, is bull crap. And the people of today have the most doomsday prophecies, whereas the ancients didn't have a lot of doomsday prophecies. They had cosmologies that made them have great things to say about the earth because they understood the earth, that the creator basically wasn't a stupid fool. Think about it. And this is another analogy I say all the time. When you go in Walmart or wherever you go to shop, you don't worry about the building falling apart on you. But when you walk outside, you worry about comets, doomsday, meteors, because we don't have this cosmology that the ancients had to know that, hey, man, you don't have to pay someone $60 million a day because they saying, listen, we working on a big laser case of meteor come to Earth. We can shoot it out the way. That's man telling you I'm smarter than God. God, so
Brother Sanchez. True indeed.
Yeah. Excuse me, Brother Sanchez. All right. Okay. I think you kind of answered my question. So you're talking about you're talking about disasters, coming from outer space related or just natural disasters?
I'm talking about the whole heliocentric into existence from a Big Bang, and from that Big Bang, life being seeded on Earth from a disaster coming.
Comments and things. I thought you meant like natural disasters as far as like, actual global things or planet like volcanoes and stuff. But okay, you're talking about a different type of disaster.
Just talking about the instability that living on a globe brings. Like, can we also talk about how the globe removes God out of the equation? Like, because I think it moves intelligent design out the equation.
The question that a lot of people are begging to ask is, what exactly is it to gain from this lie? So far we're hearing that there are natural energy and things that that we're being deprived of. There's also, I guess, that fear like, oh, we got to spend $60 million a day on NASA. Or whatever excuse.
Oh, and now they want to come with a space force. That's even more money.
To protect us from aliens, comets, meteors, and I guess really.
And like he said before we cut him off, where he was saying how they try to act like they're smarter than God. Okay, so at the end of the day, what does the devil want to do in the Bible? He wanted to put himself in God's place. He want to sit on God's throne. He want to be greater than God. So this is why if you act like God, ain't no real God, this is all some bullshit. You're just an accident. Like, you just some dust that swirled together, and then you're just a fucking alligator that crawled up out of the fucking the water and developed into a man and all this evolutionary bullshit, and it makes you less important. If you knew that you was the center, what you think you think everything revolves around you? You know how they say that to you? You act like the world revolves around you. It does. It does. Wouldn't that make you feel special? If you knew the planets revolved around you? Why? What makes me so special? First of all, Polaris, there wouldn't be that one star that stays right there in the middle, and then all the other stars revolve around it. Just like you said, we would see all different kinds of constellations over time. After all this time, there ain't no way we're going to see this one North Star forever. Forever.
Like, I remember they said we're being dragged through the solar system.
So we'd be seeing a whole bunch of other shit.
Different shit. Not the same constellation forever.
That right there should be enough, but
No, that right there. That right
definitely.
There is not going to be enough.
Well, it should be. But
it's still within a certain amount of time.
Explain it.
24 hours or 3
can you explain it?
Let her ask a question.
At some points of the day or the night or the year, the North Star's going to be over here, it's going to be over there, and so forth.
No, North Star don't move.
That's the only star that stays there.
No, I know, but it's not.
How would it do that?
But when you look up in the sky, it's not always like that star may not move, but it's not always in the same place when you look at it. So if that's not moving, what's moving? I'm saying if I can at different nights or different points of the day, I can see the North Star over to my left or to my right or to my front, to my back. Like, if the North Star isn't moving, somebody has to be moving.
I don't know how true it is this now, because I don't think I have to pay attention to the North Star more because I see it in a certain spot. And I'm gonna just say this. I get what you're saying. Based upon no position.
Yeah, it could be. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. It could be. It could just possibly be something as simple as the direction I'm facing, or or where I'm at. But I'm a little bit of a stargazer. Had the whole,
Oh, Digga thought she was gonna be making space shuttles or something like that. That's what she was into.
I went.
Yeah. So this is why this kind of rubs her the wrong way too. She thought she was gonna be putting rockets into outer space, Sanchez.
I am a physics major. I grew up wanting to be a rocket scientist. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I went to college to design blueprints for rocket shuttles to go into NASA. But
fake astronaut.
I became Rock Digger, so
Better path, you see?
Yeah, much better path. You lucky. You lucky. You did something real.
So a couple more years into my studies, I could have probably been kicking your ass a little more in this topic, but right now I'm going off of 20 years of weed smoking.
Well, listen, brother Sanchez.
But I say all that to say, very compelling argument.
Listen, brother, thank you for coming through. We just gonna leave this here right now. We probably gonna have you come back if you'd like to come back.
Oh, I'm bringing Leland. Don't get it.
Okay.
So you gotta bring.
So we're gonna bring you back to duke it out with this so-called astronaut because we don't believe you. We need more people. Now listen, where can people reach you? Tell people your YouTube channel. Anywhere they can hit you up, write to you, Instagram, anything like that.
Yeah, you can Google Bro Sanchez TV, and that should pull me up either on there or on YouTube. You can follow me on Facebook. You can also email me at talktobrosanchez@gmail.com if you would like to arrange discussions, debates like we're doing here today surrounding Flat Earth. And I also have a website, brosanchez.com, that you could check out, and I'm currently updating that. We appreciate you guys for having me, and I'll be glad to come back.
Yes, absolutely.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Before you leave, one last question. You ever seen a movie called Capricorn 1?
No, I haven't saw that one.
It was made in 1978.
O.J. Simpson.
Starring O.J. Simpson.
And they lied.
And it's actually
about going to the moon.
I'll put you up on.
I know.
and see,
I'm trying to speed it up because we got to get out of here.
And that's just to let him know that I was taking the research serious. But I saw this movie, and basically it's a fake moon landing. So it's interesting. Watch it. But you saying how movies, these ideas don't come from anywhere or come from somewhere. Yeah. That's one of them examples.
Well, listen, we love y'all.
Yo,
thank you for rocking with us on this episode. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digga.
Peace. Oh yeah. Flat power. Flat power. Flat power. All my Flat Panthers.
All my Glovio heads.
Well, listen, guys, okay? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up.
Okay, I'm sorry.
BlueChew.com. Why are you laughing?
No, that's what I said. Let me get serious.
BlueChew.com, girl.
Okay.
It's blue as in the color blue, okay?
Jay-Z
Now,
blue.
BlueChew.com brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Oh,
okay.
So you know they work.
Okay.
They don't give you them headaches like them corner store bullshit that you find in the hood.
Boost pills.
Yeah, all that samurai and all that bullshit, that type of shit.
I wouldn't know about
No good.
Not for me.
Isn't there some shit called like Lion Tiger or something?
Tiger Bone.
Tiger Bone.
Tiger Bone?
She said
Okay.
Lion Tiger.
Lion
Tiger Bone.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is knocking Tiger Bone out the box.
Okay.
Anyway, so first of all, you could take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work twice as fast as a pill. So you could be ready and rise to the occasion. If you get my drift.
Brooklyn's historic The Black Lady Theater is now taking bookings. Host your next birthday party, concert, networking event, baby or bridal shower, wedding, art show, gala, corporate event, live stage play, audition, and so much more at the one and only The Black Lady Theater. Mention code GODCAST for 15% off your rental fee. Code good for the first time customers only. Valid for a limited time. Call 718-771-0900 to book your event today.